What they've been waiting for?
You ready?
You ready?
Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. All right, man. Sit down, fasten your seatbelt. This video is for the younger generation. This ain't for the fighters today, or maybe fighters today needs this advice. But I just want to, I do this channel to ultimately help, right? And I just want young fighters to fully grasp and understand the realities of making great business decisions and not trusting your ego or a best friend or a team deal. But you got to look out. Self-preservation is the law of the land, and I think this is a great example because these guys are very popular in boxing. To my understanding, they have an affiliation type friendship with one another, and they all had 3 different promoters. And it's extremely important because they have young fighters under them. Obviously, Shakur Stevenson, Carissa Shields. It's that whole group. And this video ain't to create no animosity, but this is just to help. You understand? And the same conversation I'm gonna have with y'all in this video is the same conversation that my best business partner sat me down and said, "You're a waste of motherfucking potential. You got a good brain on your head. You have common sense. You know how to talk to people, and yet you're worth pennies on the dollar." And I ignored him for a year and a half, 2. Went to Vegas, blew money. Went to Vegas, blew money. Terrible investments, blew money. Then I got to the point where I was like, man, I need to listen. I took his advice, invested some money, and y'all know the rest of the story. And I listened to Bob Arum, and I'm not the guy that want to be right, but it bothered me on a level that I think this all could have been prevented. It's just my opinion. I think all this could have been prevented, but instead of, in my humble opinion, making the right decision, you made a safe decision because you quite possibly it was very comfortable for you. And I was thinking about Andre Berto and his career. Andre Ward, his career, and Terrence Crawford, his career. All 3 different promoters. We all know the struggles Andre Ward had with promoters. He sat down, whether it was injury or promoters, he never got the fights he wanted. And he also complained about pay. He wasn't as boisterous as he should have been in terms of race and boxing, in terms of the disrespect, in terms of him being a pound for pound fighter and not getting the respect he deserves, never having a fight in Vegas, never truly being a household name, right? And, he sued his promoter and so forth. So we all know that. And then today, Bob Arum comes out and says, I have Terrence Crawford until he retires. Like, he has a life sentence with promotions. You understand what I'm saying? And then I look at Andre Berto. Now, keep in mind, all these guys run in similar circles. Andre Berto went with Al Heyman. And Andre Berto looks like he won. I don't know this to be true, but I'm just looking on the outside. I'm looking in. And I'm almost certain that the 3 of them have had conversations about promotions, about making great deals, about investments. They all millionaires. They all wealthy. I mean, they all rich. I don't know if they're wealthy. And they all come off happy. But when Andre Ward has to sue his promoter, and Andre Berto's only been with 1 promoter. The Durrell brothers has been with 1 promoter. Andre Ward sits out for 2 years. Terrence Crawford has been with 1 promoter. Can't get the fights he wants. At this point of his career, he's underpaid. Meanwhile, Andre Berto is buying Rolls Royce race, has a ginormous house, but I can tell by his Instagram stories, has a beautiful family, doing stuff currently in the community of Polk County, where he's from, in Florida. I'm not saying that the other brothers aren't doing it, but at the end of the day, I genuinely believe that you have to make decisions that benefit for you through perpetuity. And I know we all don't come from great beginnings, so we got to make decisions that we need right now. And I fully grasp it. I fully get it. I fully understand it. And I'm looking at Andre Ward. Andre Ward is literally working for a company that doesn't allow him to speak in his authentic voice. And you say, why, Fred? How do you know this? Because I covered Andre Ward. Thank you. Because I covered Andre Ward for years. You know, he didn't know me. I was a newspaper guy. I didn't have to sit and do interviews and stuff like that. But I was definitely advocating for Andre Ward. You guys know the story. Andre Berto, been covering him for years. I didn't necessarily have to do interviews with him because I was a newspaper guy. Terrence Crawford, I remember him when he was wearing baggy sweatsuits. You know, he fought a lot of fights here in LA or in the Los Angeles area. And I didn't necessarily have to know these guys, you know, and I was a young punk anyway, so they wouldn't probably pay me no mind. But this is a message for understanding. This ain't no message of like being divisive and being disrespectful, anything like that. I definitely don't want to do that. I don't want to be contrite or anything of sorts, right? I just believe that when you got three guys with three different promoters and Andre Berto gets the Floyd Mayweather fight because of a promise that Al Heyman made and you live happily ever after, Andre Berto arguably probably never has to work again. You know what I mean? I've seen Andre Berto mature before my very eyes, man. I remember Andre Ward when he was wearing baggy Rockaware gear and throwing uppercuts and shit, knocking out Hernandez with a vicious uppercut. I believe that's his name. And I've seen Andre Ward. Thank you. Thank you. And I've seen all this come to fruition. I've seen Terrence Crawford grow into a top 3 pound for pound fighter, some having 1, 2, or 3. That's not for this video. But when you're not being respected as if the greatest fighter of your era, i.e. Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, and you look to your right and your brother is happy, living his best life, I think that it takes some selflessness to sit down and fully grasp the bigger picture, you know. And I hope, and this is a video of potential. This ain't no video of haha, Fred, you're right. I knew I would be right because I've seen Bob Arum contracts. You know what I mean? I hope and to God, I hope and pray that the same conversation that I had with my business partner Derek is the same conversation that I hope Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward, and Andre Berto have with Carissa Shields, Shakur Stevenson, and everyone else that they have under them. That you got to make great business decisions and based off of their personal experiences being promoted and navigating themselves with their team through the boxing community, that they help these young fellas and young women, young kings and queens make great decisions. You know, it just bothers me that I hear Bob Arum says I have him through perpetuity, and I have yet to see a commercial for Terrence Crawford fight. It bothers me to a certain degree because I built this platform to benefit Black fighters ultimately, and decrease and minimize the power that the others have. You know, and it's just it makes no sense. You know, and I hope this video helps. I genuinely hope that this video helps, and I hope it gets to the right people. You know what I mean? And I genuinely hope and pray, like sincerely hope and pray that it works out for Terrence Crawford. You know, I'm obviously gonna have some fun with it because I've been right for 18 months, and I tried to explain it to Terrence. And people want to know, say, Fred, how did you know this? Because Terrence Crawford's one of Terrence Crawford's friends. I wouldn't say friends. I met him in Vegas like two or 3 years ago, And I one of the reasons why, because I overstood um, the situation that he was in and him wanting to get out and so on and so forth. And then, since I know past fighters with top rank, I understood the bigger picture, and I used my platform to attempt to help. And then people thought it was hate. It wasn't hate. You know what I mean? All he had to do was come home, as they say, as grandma say, and or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King would say, come home. All you had to do was come home, and you chose not to. You chose to trust Bob Arum. Andre Ward chose to trust the Goosens. Didn't work out. Andre Berto chose to trust Al Heyman, and he's living happily ever after. You know, Chance Crawford is fighting a guy, fried green tomato. I've never, I mean, people don't even care. People are talking about the co-main event more than the main event. You understand? And Fred is right. I don't want to be right, but because I'm very pragmatic and I understand. People think I'm bragging on myself when I say, but I'm very pragmatic. I know I come off as very outlandish and very loud, but I'm very pragmatic in the decisions that I make. You understand what I'm saying? And here you go. It's just a decision I made. So um, I hope this video helps long term, like for real. I hope Carissa and Shakur Stevenson, because I feel the tension in Shakur Stevenson building. Carissa Shields is gonna do MMA. Just be the greatest female fighter of all time. Don't be Jesse Owens and race horses. Next thing you know, you're gonna be racing cars. Next thing you know, they're gonna tell you to fly a plane with no training. You know what I mean? Be the greatest boxer. God chose you to be the greatest female boxer to ever lace up a pair of gloves. Right? Right, Kiki? Yeah. So do that. You understand what I'm saying? And the rest, man, history. So, anyways, man, this is a video out of love. Okay. This ain't I'm not gonna throw no shade or no hate on Andre Ward or Berto, because ultimately I want them to quote unquote rob the bank. I want them to get all the money. I want them to win financially. You know what I mean? I want nothing from these fighters. I've been offered thousands of dollars, thousands of thousands of dollars. Okay, period. I've turned every last one of them down because I wanted to keep my authentic voice. And you know what I mean? And now that I don't need no credentials to do my job, you know what I mean? I can really say what I want to say without offending nobody. And if I offend you, it's only because I believe it's the truth, um so this is the same message that my business partner told me. You know what I mean? When I was running around with $10,000 and $20,000 in my pocket, and I thought I was on top of the world, man. You know what I mean? And you know, and now I have as you guys just saw, a beautiful daughter. You know what I mean? I get to be a stay-at-home father. I'm retired, basically. You know what I mean? I'm retired with millions of dollars coming in every year. Not millions of dollars, not millions. Don't get me wrong. My equity is definitely more impressive than my cash flow, but my cash flow was great too. But I'm just saying, um, I should say my net worth. My net worth grows every year, But outside of that, I don't want to be lying on this internet. Oh, Fred, nah, 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 nah. No, I'll never have $1 million cash, man. I never want to brag about having $1 million cash. I want to invest it. You understand what I'm saying? I want to invest every penny that I get. You understand? People want to brag and take pictures with thousands of dollars on their ear. Now, I want to show you. I want to show you how I've had a career high year with Tesla stock. That's what I want to show you. How I told you guys a year and a half to invest in AT&T stock, and now that stock is up 30% since I told you. I want Nike stock. I told you guys to buy it at $50. Remember that? The shit is up 45% since I told you. I told you guys that. That's what I want to brag about. I want to brag about helping other people become wealthy. You understand? And the successes I get, I'm willing to share. People call it bragging. People call it whatever you want, but I've done my part, and I will continue to do my part. You understand? So, Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, Berto, congratulations on being great fighters. And this is not condescending, but only one of the three of you have made great business decisions through perpetuity, as it appears at face value. You know, go back and Google Andre Ward interviews when he was going through that promotional shit and HBO had him jumping through hoops. Oh, you ain't fighting Triple G. We're going to make you move up and give you a 3-fight deal. You're going to listen to Jim Lampley doing this telecast and he's going to say you're not the best. You know what I mean? He going to say you're not son of God. Remember that quote by Jim Lampley? You're not SOG. You know what I mean? So anyways, man, and Terrence Crawford, man, Bob Arum literally took the wind out of my sails because, you know, I didn't want to be right. I wanted to use my platform and help. But anyways, man, this is long enough. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.